Welcome to a rainy day here on the weekend, and I'm out in front of Pushkin's home. Everything's named after Pushkin. Everything. Everything's named after Pushkin. In fact, the airport, Sheremetyevo Airport, is entitled after Pushkin. I didn't know that his name was Sheremetyevo, but I guess that's how things work. No, they just say everything is named after someone. So this is Pushkin's home in the Arbat region. Let's go for a bit of a walk. Some of the souvenir stores here, and here we have Yuri Gagarin, and they've got a model replica of Gagarin's watch. So I might check in here later. I think it's going to be quite expensive is the only problem. These watches are actually quite expensive. I guess I have to find like a old model and fix it up. We're out here actually not even that early in the morning. It is right now just 9:30. And really everything, I guess, gets started opening up around 10. But since I got to get my 10,000 steps a day, great time to go out because you're not stopped by all of the buskers and all of the tourist hawkers, which been a bit quiet these days actually with it because, you know, nobody's really getting into Moscow at this point. So, not the big giant tour groups being led through the streets. So I don't know what we'll do today. Maybe we'll go look at some museums while it's nice and clear. This guy knows where he's going. This guy over here, he's having a little bit of a walk too. He's having a bit of a walk this morning as well. He's not going too far though. Now, on a normalish day, not as rainy as this, up here you can see all those kind of metal frames, and they'll have artists setting up their wares, and they usually have booksellers along here. And way at the back, who you can probably see at this point, and I'll get a bit closer, is Major Zhukov, hero of the Second World War, the Great Patriotic War inside of Russia. And if you don't like that, you can always get a bust of Lenin, or maybe some KGB pistols. Now we're heading into the big holidays at the start of May that commemorate the end of the Great Patriotic War, kind of the apocalyptic event inside of Russia. Quite a few people, of course, passed away during the war, fighting hand in hand with the Americans and the British and the Canadians. And we all fought together during that time. But Russia, the amount of devastation of the population was extreme. And because of that, they will have walks where people will bring out images of the various family members that they lost within their family during the war. And they'll actually kind of have like a ghost procession. And they'll walk along holding those pictures. And that's considered one of the ways that they kind of do Remembrance Day, and so they set it to the end of the Second World War, or the Great Patriotic War as it's known here. And as we come up this way, we can see a nice big theater, and still there he is way at the back, Zhukov. The theatrical tradition is quite large in Russia. There's a lot of theaters all around. And in fact, if this was not such a rainy day, you'll actually see various buskers out here, and usually art students that kind of have set up, and they will do various scenes from different plays on the street inside of the Arbat region. So this is really kind of almost like an artist gallery, as well as kind of a tourist spot, and you know, tourist trappy-ish, but it's a nice broad avenue. It's a nice walking street along here. So if you're in Moscow, this is one of the places that you can come down and take a look at. This is also interesting in here. There's like this little tiny kind of souvenir-y sort of place but they also do kind of like flea market-y things. So Beth got her grandmother a old cross in that area there. And of course, as you come across here, you know, gotta have the cheapo bar. Gotta have the killfish, which basically cheap liquor. And we can see they're already kind of ready for Christmas, even though it's far away. This place always has this kind of display up. And so Santa Claus in Russian is Desmoros. Desmoros. And so these are all the various Desmoroses. You got some neat looking dolls. Oh look, it's Beth. Hey Beth. And then as we move along, oh, we got some peacocks and things. A lot of the wood carvings. Matryoshkas. We're getting up to Easter here in Russia. So Easter's actually different here because of the Orthodox calendar, which is basically having to do with the two popes. So there's Pope Gregory changed the calendar in order to move when the leap years were. And so because of that, they changed the calendar, but this was post the split between both the Byzantine and Catholic churches. And so because of that, Russia still used the old Caesar calendar. And this is why you see kind of weird things like the October Revolution happening in November. So that was changed, of course, later on. Russia has moved now onto the other calendar, but what's happened is they've kept all of kind of the liturgical dates still the same. So this is why you end up with Orthodox Christmas and Orthodox Easter. And there's also some differences there in how they calculate the Easter date. So Easter is a calculated date based upon a few different factors. And one of the ones that the Orthodox Church uses, which the Catholics do not, and therefore the Protestants don't, is they use the Jesus was basically had the whole being put on the cross post Passover. So first of all, they have to hit the Passover date, and then they use the normal calculation that we would use for Easter, having to do with when the solstice is, and then the first full moon after that. There he is. We're now nice up and close. So we'll continue our walk up the Arbat. The architecture in some of these areas is just absolutely amazing and brilliant, and I've always liked this opening facade here with the two of them here. Kind of, you know, victory over it, the laurels. But the only problem is what this building now is. It's Aeroflot. I don't know. I don't think either of those two women have ever stepped foot on an Aeroflot plane. Aeroflot is a little bit of a company that's kind of like lost in time in a way, and is trying to kind of still reclaim the old thing. Like, look at this. That's their logo. Still. You know. They're... You know, it's like that scene from The Simpsons where they press the button and the sign flips back around to Soviet Union from Russia. Here's another kind of interesting building on the outskirts of the Arbat region here. And it has basically, of course the guy walks right in front. It's like a hobbit home. And here we come up on the Alyonka store, which is a famous brand of chocolate in the red October. This is a beautiful store. Look at that. The logo is quite interesting. Beth and I like to call it the creepy baby, because it kind of has that look of those images that they used to take when a baby had like died and they like, you know, painted the eyes. It's got that kind of look. So we like to call it creepy baby chocolate. In fact, that image that's on there, the image is in a bit of debate, because there was a question as to whether the painting was based off of an actual person. There's somebody carrying a bag of it right now. It was debated whether it was actually based off of a real person. Ooh! Where are we heading up to? I do not know why that's ringing. I don't even really know where that's ringing from. Okay, that's interesting. So here's the metro at the end. But the question as to that was it based off of an actual person? And so there was a lawsuit having to do with kind of settling that, as to whether there was an actual person involved. And I guess it came to an unsatisfying conclusion for all. There you can see they're getting ready for it for the May. And this is a beautiful facade here, just right on the end of the Arbat. So if you're looking for the Arbat and you see this facade here, that means you've reached the right place. So I'm walking back up the Arbat. And as you can see, way in the distance there, you can see this big, huge, giant tower. That's one of the Seven Sisters. One of the 7 big, giant construction projects that were done. And that thing, from this distance, doesn't look that big, right? Oh, it is big. It is very big indeed. Streets clean. We gotta keep them clean from all of this clean water that's falling on them. But quick, clean the streets. Geez, it's both Belushi and Elvis. They're not dead, they're in Moscow. And so as you come up here, I show you the last major part of the Arbat. And there we go, it's Victor Zoy. 'Cause Victor Zoy, he's got a wall. They made him on a giant wall. He likes to sing various things. He likes to stand on his wall now. So this is the Stena Zoy, or the Zoy's wall. And so Victor Zoy, you might know him from GTA 4. He's on the soundtrack of Vladivostok Radio there. And this is his memorial here in the heart of Moscow along the Arbat region. And over there people like to place cigarettes for him. And yeah, that's our tour through the Arbat. I'm glad that you could join me for this rainy weekend tour through the Arbat on Dr. Brown's Weekend Coffees. And as always, stay safe and wash your hands. Da 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 da.